I'm Redmond,
and welcome to our show and tell.
Welcome back to elementary school because we're going to be showing off this entire video.
Yeah.
Basically, we'll be highlighting our best thrift finds from fall of 2022 till now.
Summer 2023.
We made this video last year, but since then, we found a ton of cool things.
So we thought might as well update our list. So if you like vintage stuffed animals, trinkets, dolls, or cool clothes, then this video is for you. Before we begin, we just wanted to mention that we resell a lot of what we find, and we understand that topic is a bit controversial.
But if you're open-minded, feel free to check out this video where we kind of like tell you our stance on buying to resell, specifically at thrift stores.
This video I originally made as a presentation for a college class, and we made it into a video later, so it's filled with hard facts and evidence and isn't just our opinions.
And she got an A on that presentation, by the way.
Yeah,
so before you comment anything like resellers are ruining thrifting on our video, maybe check out that video before you spew your opinion down in the comments.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed to have your opinion, but maybe just check out the other side first.
Yes.
Anyways, that's not what this video is about.
We broke this video up into 3 categories, which are our most expensive finds, our oldest finds, and things we just find cool and want to brag about. So the first category we're going to go over is our most expensive finds.
This category features items we picked up at the thrift store because we thought they were cool, only to find out later they're worth a lot more than what we paid.
Okay, so we're breaking our own rules because the first thing we found we didn't even find at the thrift store.
Basically, we found Rochelle Goyle Freak du Chic
at Walmart. This doll is 8 years old, and we found it on the lowest shelf by the Monster High dolls in the back.
We went to self-checkout, checked out, and we got it for retail price.
When it came out, so $40. And do you want to know how much this doll's worth now? It's worth like $200.
Holy
what?
shit.
That's the most insane find I've ever found and probably will ever find.
I will never live this find down because, as you can tell, we love Monster High, and I've always dreamed of finding like a G1 doll in the store now because G1 dolls are so expensive, and I just wanted to relive that part of my childhood. So finding that doll literally made me start shaking in the store.
Literally a dream come true. I thought I was dreaming.
On the hour drive back, we were fucking dancing, singing. My adrenaline was like...
We were like blasting Monster High themes. I was so excited. I was happy for the rest of the day. I had so much energy. I had to like take five walks around the block.
And we will never shut up about this find. And when we found her, I wanted attention, okay? Yep. So I posted this find everywhere on TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, and a bunch of people were like, "You're lying, you're faking, that you didn't find that," because it's so unbelievable, and we didn't lie, guys.
I swear to God. I swear.
We could talk about this forever, but we're gonna cut it short, and if you want to hear us talk about it a little more, check out this video, but we just had to put that in this list because,
oh my god,
that's so cool.
Yeah. The next item is one of the rare items we can show on camera because we still actually have it. This is a Lisa Frank plush dog from the 90s. The tag is drawn on by somebody, but oh my god, and the tag's a sticker.
Isn't that so cute?
That is so cute.
Oh my god.
And from our research, we couldn't find a lot of like listings of this dog, but this dog goes for around $100. You might recognize this dog from like these coloring pages and these illustrations. I love this dog so much.
This is our favorite Lisa Frank character, by the way.
Yes.
Oh my god. Calling all the Swifties. Calling all the why can't I speak? Calling all the Swifties.
There we go.
We found a Taylor Swift jacket at the thrift store for $10. That's what I wanted to say.
Damn.
So basically, we were looking at Goodwill, and Blue Moon was digging through the jackets, and she was like, "This jacket looks really cool." And then she was like, "Wait, this says Taylor Swift on it." We looked it up. It turns out this jacket was a limited edition, sold out Taylor Swift official merchandise store exclusive merch drop for the holiday of 2020. So you could only get this shirt online in the holiday of 2020.
So we got that jacket for $10 and we ended up selling it for $88. So the next item on this list is actually a giant stuffed animal that we found at a thrift store right near our college campus. I was walking down an aisle and made eye contact with this stuffed animal, and I was like, I know you from somewhere. So I decided to look it up in the store and found out it was a bee and puppy cat stuffed animal from 2014.
It is a retired plush, and that's what makes it so expensive.
Yes.
We looked it up and found out it goes for around $120, and that's what we ended up selling it for. But we really enjoyed it when we had it because it's so cute, and I used to watch Bee and Puppy Cat occasionally, and it's just huge.
It is. And we made sure to clean it. It had like a stain on the front of it, so I like washed it. We had a fun time packing it because we had to like create an amalgamation of like poly mailers to fit it in.
Like, it was like we basically shipped a giant ball.
Yeah. Beetlejuice. We found a Beetlejuice at the thrift store. We found this Beetlejuice at the same thrift store we found the Bee and Puppy Cat at, right by our college campus. And I actually found it. It was like a really busy day when we went, and I was like reaching over a crowd of people to like dig through like a shelf, and I saw the stripes of the box, and I was like, that's Beetlejuice related, so I took it down and saw it was Kenner. And I know from watching a million videos that vintage Kenner toys can be worth a decent amount of money, and I was like, oh my god, how has no one grabbed this yet? This is so obviously like something. And it was $8.
We took it home and found out that it's worth around like $100 or so in good condition. It was really beat up, so we sold ours I think for like $68 or something like that. But the concept behind him is insane because this is a toy marketed towards children, and Beetlejuice is not very PG-13.
No, like I think he had a pull string and he could talk and his head could like swivel around.
And the things that he said were slightly concerning for children, so he was eventually pulled from the shelves, I think, so it's just super cool to find him, like, especially since he was, like, limited to some extent. He sat in the corner of our room for a while, watching us while we slept, and I enjoyed his presence.
Yes, I did. So the next item we actually found a week ago at a thrift store by our house. It is this black hoodie that has this really cool graphic on it.
It's just so cool, and I love red. My hair used to be dyed red, so when Blue Moon found it, I was like, take it, I don't care if it's even worth anything, I'm taking it. And sadly, we took it home and it was worth something, because if it wasn't worth something, I would have kept it, but we're broke college students, we really needed money, so we ended up selling it. Basically, we're pretty sure that I was a 90s or early 2000s vintage, like, Hot Topic, and I'm sorry that it's vintage. I know people are gonna be like, the 90s is vintage,
or like the early 2000s is vintage.
I'm sorry.
We were born in 2001, it's just how it is to me.
It's vintage to us, I'm sorry.
But we ended up selling it for $70 because, again, we actually found this shirt with another shirt we'll talk about later, and that's why we're guessing it's vintage Hot Topic, because the other shirt we found, I'm pretty sure it's from Hot Topic in the early 2000s.
And they had the same, like, tag on them, so we're pretty sure they're somewhat related anyway.
Okay, Editor Blue Moon, I realized we didn't mention the second shirt we were teasing in the video, so we found an Invader Zim shirt that we're pretty sure is early 2000s Hot Topic as well, so that's why we're dating the other shirt we mentioned as also 2000s Hot Topic, because we found them at the same thrift store at the same time. And we think the Invader Zim shirt is really cool because we had previously to finding this shirt a bunch of Invader Zim pictures, like, on Pinterest. Like, this is an aesthetic early Hot Topic, and I thought it was so cool that we actually found something from this aesthetic that I, like, knew about before.
Yeah,
you know? So if you like 2000s aesthetics, make sure to check out our video. We talk about hyper-specific 2000s aesthetics in detail. Anyways, back to the video.
The next item on this list, or shall I say items on this list, is actually 2 American Girl dolls. The thrift store by our college, for some reason, just has tons of American Girl dolls.
So many.
But usually we don't pick them up because they're in rough shape. But we found 2 Pleasant Company American Girl dolls there, and we just had to take them. And if you don't know what Pleasant Company dolls are, it was they were basically Pleasant Company dolls are what American Girl used to. The company American Girl makes the American Girl dolls. Okay?
Right.
The company American Girl used to be called Pleasant Company.
Yeah. So
okay, I don't know why that was so hard.
Dolls from the late 80s, early 90s. Basically, they're the oldest, basically the oldest American Girl dolls you can find.
Yes. Okay. So we found just like you, number 3, and she was in like amazing condition. I think we tightened her limbs, which involves taking her head off, and it looks barbaric, but we did that.
And we boil washed her hair and brushed it, so it's nice and doesn't have a lot of fraying.
And she came in a Pleasant Company outfit, I think, but she was in great condition. We ended up selling her for I think like $60, and she's adorable. I loved having her. We take selfies with all the dolls that we sell, by the way,
because we're doll collectors. I love dolls.
I love dolls. And then we found Addie. She was in rough shape. She had silver eyes, which is what American Girl dolls get if you get their eyes wet with water.
Yeah, don't clean them.
Yeah, their eyes can rust. And then her limbs are really loose, so we tightened them, and her hair was cut. So we boil washed her hair, but we still couldn't get it to look quite right. So we ended up only selling her for $23, which isn't a lot of money, but you know, since we're talking about the other Pleasant Company doll,
might as well mention her too, because I just think she's cool. So the next item on this list is actually another clothing item Found at the thrift store by our house, and it is this red Omodi fish boy sweater. Like, look at the graphic, it's just so sick. I just picked it up and looked at it at first because I love anime, so I was like, oh my god, this looks really cool. And we found out it was worth money, so unfortunately we had to sell it again because I would have kept it.
I love red, and I was so upset that it was worth money.
I know. It was originally from 2013 and 2014, so that's why it's a little bit more expensive now because it is no longer available in stores.
And it had a little bit of cracking on like the design on the front, but it still sold immediately. Like, we listed it and it sold within an hour, so look out for these sweaters.
They're really cool. I love them.
On to our next next category, and that is our oldest finds category.
This category contains items that are old. Okay, we were born in 2001, like we said, and anything before that is considered old to us. So if you're born before 2001, you're old! You're old! Okay, we're just kidding. We're just kidding.
So the first item on this list is this teddy bear that we couldn't exactly find an estimate on, like an exact year, but our estimate is that it was from the 1950s to 1960s. This brand is a pretty old brand, and these teddy bears can go for a lot of money. We couldn't find this teddy bear anywhere else online. We found similar ones, but never the exact ones. We couldn't get a good date on it.
Or like a good price, so we just priced it kind of low because it is really old and decrepit looking and scary. It's in pretty bad condition, but I just picked it up because I recognized the brand and knew that it could be expensive.
And it's just really cool to hold such an old toy. Like, that's just so, I love vintage toys.
Was I kind of scared of it and put it under my bed so it would look at me? Maybe. Okay, we were just kidding. That bear wasn't haunted, but do you know what it was?
This Furby. Okay, this is kind of a long story, so strap in, okay? So, we thrifted this Furby for 99 cents at the thrift store near our school. We took it home, we put batteries in it, and it worked.
Oh shit.
I'm scared. We took the batteries out and put it away, and we were like, we don't know what to do with this Furby. We've never owned a Furby. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna sell it. So we listed it online, and a few days after we listed it, someone bought it. We gave it to them. They received it. They gave us a nice review, and everything was all good.
Everything was fine.
Until around a week after the buyer got the Furby
and rated us.
On a Friday night, I get this message from the buyer, and they're like, hey, by any chance, did you happen to notice if this Furby was, like, haunted? So basically, after our buyer received their Furby, they went to put the batteries in the Furby, and it just didn't make any noise and didn't talk at all for 2 straight minutes. So they were like, I'm gonna take your batteries out now, and as they started saying that sentence, the Furby would not stop talking and kept cutting them off, and it kept saying cock-a-doodle-doo. And then they say, okay, they finally get a word in. They're like, I'm taking your batteries out. And the Furby chuckled to itself and said, do it. So yikes, they took the batteries out and then nothing happened after that. But then they decided, you know what, I'm going to put the batteries back in. They named the Furby the Nun, and it hates all their other Furbies and hates them. They're like, I like him and I'm not mad at you for selling him to me, but I just wanted to let you know. Here's all the screenshots to prove that this person actually said that to me. This Furby isn't even that old. It's from like the 90s.
Right.
And somehow it's haunted. Maybe he's just got a spicy personality.
Right, maybe, because don't they have personalities, or that came later?
I don't know if Furbies have their own individual personalities. I really don't know. But if you guys know, let us know.
But we sold someone a haunted Furby, and we just had to let you know. Speaking of creepy old things that happen to talk, we found this 1967 Miss Beasley doll at the thrift store by our college.
She's the original doll that came out in the 60s, so we took her home and found out she was worth like quite a bit of money, but we found her in terrible condition, so we didn't end up selling her for that much. We were so scared, right? Because we knew she had a pull string, so she could talk and say things. This is what she's supposed to sound like.
I do think you're the nicest little friend I ever had.
But luckily ours didn't make... Actually, ours was... I was gonna say luckily it didn't make any noise. It just made gurgling sounds, which I think is scarier than her actually saying anything. Like, this is what ours sounded like.
Thank God. Oh my God. Okay,
She doesn't make any noise, she just makes that weird machine sound.
Okay, good.
Like I said, we're doll collectors. We have dolls staring at us when we sleep. Our bed is right there. And I didn't want Miss Beasley sitting out in our room. Like, most of the stuff that we thrift, I display because I think it's cool.
Yeah, but I shoved her in a drawer face down and, like, locked it. I was like, no, she's not coming out.
No, like, I was convinced she was haunted.
Yeah. Okay, we're calling all the Barbs.
I'm bad at the Barbie.
I'm a doll, but I still want to party.
Okay, we're not talking... Sorry. We're not talking about Nikki fans, we're talking about Barbie doll fans.
Yes.
Okay, so when we were at the thrift store, I think around like a few weeks ago, we found 2 vintage Barbie dolls. Thrift stores are full of Barbie dolls, and I usually don't look at them, but I could tell these dolls were different. So we picked them up, and basically we found out by asking around in Barbie groups that we found,
1960s original Francie and 1970s Malibu Barbie.
Those dolls are pretty sought after within the Barbie community, but sadly ours were in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
We ended up making a little TikTok video of us cleaning them. They had cuts on their legs. Did you know that Barbie dolls could melt. So they were like, they had dresses on that someone handmade for them, and they melted to the dresses. So we had to pry the dresses off of them. And I never knew that. Isn't that weird? It's something to do with like science and chemical reactions and like the old plastic.
But anyways, we cleaned them the best we could and sold them for how much?
I think
like $40, $30. They were in bad condition. I just think it's a really cool find. I felt like I was holding a piece of history. I just love them so much.
Because I love Francie. Francie's really cool. I didn't really know much about her before we picked her up, and like her hair,
like she's
so
pretty.
stylish. I was like, literally, I was looking at her like.
But I just couldn't stop looking at them. I just think they're so cool, so we wanted to mention them here. Okay, so the last thing in this category, I'm just gonna count as a thrift, even though we found it for free off of Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, for free. I was scrolling on Facebook Marketplace one night and saw this lady like listing these My Little Ponies for free, and she lived like 10 minutes away from her house, so I'm like, let me go grab them. They were in really.
It was 30 minutes.
30?
Yeah, we drove quite a bit.
And no, it felt short because I was on my way to get My Little Ponies.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They were My Little Ponies from the 80s, and a lot of them can be worth like a decent amount of money, like $40, $50 if you get a bunch of them.
These ponies were obviously in rough shape.
Yeah, they're gonna throw them out if we didn't grab them.
In our last video, if you watched that, we picked up a lot of My Little Ponies and ended up cleaning up like 20 of them.
Yeah.
So I learned from that Thrift Find in our last video that we love cleaning up My Little Ponies. So when we saw these on Facebook Marketplace for free,
I was like, let me get my hands on them. I love cleaning My Little Ponies. It's so therapeutic. It's so relaxing. I mean, there's a lot of things with those My Little Ponies that we couldn't fix. Like their hair was cut. Some of them were missing tails. And like the furry ones, we couldn't really clean that much with what we had.
But you know, we did our best and we ended up selling them, I think, for like just $20.
Yeah.
But
they were free.
Honestly, I just wanted to clean them.
Yeah, I just like them. I just think they're cool. Okay, so the last category we're gonna go over is called the our interest category. This category contains things that we just personally like finding at the thrift store and aren't usually worth a lot of money.
And they're not really old. We just want to talk about them, okay? Let us talk about them.
We love them.
This is our video, okay?
Yes.
I mean, we love everything we pick up at the thrift store, but these are just things that we just extra love.
Yes.
Alright? So the first thing we found are BT21 plushes.
Yes.
We love BT21. If you don't know what BT21 is, basically the K-pop group BTS, who we love, by the way, they created BT21, which are just plush versions of themselves. They're like they're kind of like just characters that they made that represent them.
And there's a bunch of merch made of these characters, and we found some of the merch at a thrift store, specifically the thrift store by our college. It's just a treasure trove apparently for BT21 merch.
And BT21 merch is so expensive, so I love finding it at the thrift store. The first one we found was this RJ Plus, and RJ is our favorite, okay?
Because Jin's our favorite member of BTS, and he made that character.
So we love RJ, and so I was so excited when I found him. The second thing we found, we still have, because it's fucking fire.
Because we use it. It is this BT21 Mong. I'm guessing it's for your car, like it's like a headrest.
Mong is J-Hope's character in BT21, and we love J-Hope. We love all the members of BTS, to be honest, but Mong is so adorable, and we have him in our car right now.
And Mong matches our car. Our car is like light blue, and like our seats are kind of like have light blue colors in them, and it's just so cool. It's like so comfortable. Like I use it all the time. So as many of you may know, we were LPS tubers for a good 6 to 8 years, so we love finding LPS and LPS related things at the thrift store. So we found 3 LPS VIP plushies. If you don't know what LPS VIP is, it is basically an online game that was made in the early 2000s that was quickly like discontinued or quickly just like got taken down and replaced by another online game called LPSO, and that game was also quickly taken down.
They're kind of like limited. They're
limited.
They weren't around for that long, so I love finding them. They're not really worth too much money, but I love them because they're so adorable.
Yeah, they're kind of like webkins where you get the stuffed animal and you like type in a code to like have the character like in game. So that's what the plush were for. So we grew up with LPS VIP specifically, so I love finding LPS VIP plushes.
And we had a few, but we found this monkey, this dog, and this cat.
This cat actually is like a kind of rarer one. When I was looking up like trying to find it online, like I couldn't find that many of them, so we decided to put them in a group and sell them because I don't really have a lot of space in my room to keep them right now. And it sold immediately because that cat is harder to find.
It like doesn't show up as often. I don't really know why. I don't know if it was like an exclusive to some store or something.
Probably, maybe just not a lot of people bought that one. I'm not sure.
Speaking of LPS, just last month we found an LPS board game. And the story behind this is kind of funny because we always go to the same thrift store every time we go to the thrift store, and they have a whole wall of board games, and we usually don't look at the board games, but we went to the toy section, we didn't find anything, and so we were like, let's look at the board games for fun. Blue Moon looks over at the board games, and she's like, is that an OPS board game? And usually we find OPS board games a lot, but they don't have the OPS in them. Usually, whenever people donate the OPS board games, they take the OPS out, and that's the part that people actually care about.
So when I pulled out the board game and saw it had the LPS in it, and it was only 99 cents, I was like, you're coming home with me.
Yeah, we were so excited. We've never, not once in our life, thrifted OPS, so this was a first, and we were so fucking excited.
I was really so, like, LPS are behind us right now. We still have our whole collection of them, and I love LPS so much, and I was just so excited to find LPS at the thrift store. So like we mentioned a million times, and as you can tell, we are Monster High doll collectors, so we love finding Monster High dolls at the thrift store, but we've only found them a handful of times. And we didn't mention that we found this Monster High doll in our most expensive list, but we found Freak to Chic Rochelle again at the thrift store 3 weeks ago. She keeps haunting us.
She literally keeps
I'm not
haunting
complaining,
us.
I love her.
And I'm so sad because we really needed money as broke college students, and I didn't want to sell the first Rochelle we found, but the fact that she was worth so much money, we just had to give her up, and plus we mentioned 100 times, we don't have space in this room to keep tons of stuff, so we had to get rid of her. So when I found the second Rochelle, I was like, oh my god, she really wants me to keep her.
Because, like, she keeps coming back.
She literally keeps coming back. We still ended up selling her because even out of box with half of her accessories missing, she's like worth around like $50 to like $60.
So I'm like, I can't afford to keep her right now. One day when I'm rich and famous and have extra money, I'll rebuy her for myself.
She's really adorable.
Because we have Freak to Chic Claudine, and I love that line, and I'd love to complete it one day, but maybe one day.
One day. I enjoyed holding her, even though we had to give her up.
We couldn't take the other one out of the box, so it's cool to have her out of the box. I was like, wow, this is cool, so cool. I didn't think I'd like ever experience this.
Like, we experienced her in the box and out of the box. Anyway, we also found 4 Monster High dolls in varying conditions. We found Draculaura, Cleo, Claudine, and Rebecca Steen. We ended up selling them for around like $20 to $30 because they're in rough condition, but we did clean them up because, again, we love cleaning up old toys and fixing them, and I just loved holding them. Also, we found Draculaura's car, and I remember seeing this car in stores, and I never got it because for some reason we weren't like Draculaura fans.
No.
But I was so glad we found this car. We ended up selling it because, once again, we didn't have any space, but it's just so cool to hold, and this car is badass. Like, I want this car in real life.
Like, it's so cool. I love it. And most recently, we found this naked Spectra doll at the thrift store 2 weeks ago, and we just bought her because, again, it feels illegal not to buy any Monster High doll we found at the thrift store.
Literally.
We actually, this Spectra is Dot Dead Gorgeous Spectra, and we actually have this doll complete.
So it was kind of fun to see, like, a fucked up Spectra versus how she's actually supposed to look. We ended up selling her recently, I think, for like $8. People, customizers buy, like, messed up dolls to be able to customize, so I'm pretty sure that went to a customizer, so
like, we can talk about them forever, but moving on. Okay, we're just gonna mention this doll quickly, but we found a first wave Mycene Chelsea at the thrift store in most of her, part of her outfit. She didn't have shoes, but she had a shirt and pants.
But she's so adorable, and I've never owned a Mycene doll before. They were a popular doll line in the early 2000s that was made to compete with, I think, like Bratz and Barbie. They were discontinued, but they're adorable, and I always see people post about them online, so I was so excited when I found her because I'm like, I get to hold her!
Like, they're actually, like, so hard to find at thrift stores, like, you never see them. Like, that's the only time I've come across a Mycene doll.
Like, and that was, like, almost a year ago now. Like, I love her, like, sassy side-eye.
Yeah, like, she's just so pretty, and I would have kept her, but I don't have a Mycene collection, so it just felt weird having one, so I was like, okay, let me give her to someone who likes Mycene dolls.
We sold her to a collector, but we just wanted to mention her because she's so cool, and we never find Mycene dolls. Alright, the last doll we're gonna talk about on this list is this 2001, or no, I think it's from the year 2000, Tuxedo Mask doll from Sailor Moon. I'm not a huge Sailor Moon fan, but I know Tuxedo Mask when I see him,
I know him.
I know him. I saw him in the thrift store and I was like, ooh. I immediately picked him up. He came, I think he was like $5. He came with his stand and his entire outfit. He was almost complete.
He was just missing his glove and his top hat.
I know this doll is very collectible if you can get him in the box, so we didn't sell him for that much. And I didn't know this at the time, but he was broken, so he was in a bag, so I couldn't expect him that much before I took him home. When we took him home, I found out his leg was broken. Like, the peg that connects his leg to his body was snapped off. So we had to super glue his leg back together, but, you know, I enjoy fixing dolls, so we fixed him up and sold him to somebody and, you know, told them about his condition.
Okay, so moving on from talking about dolls, we're now going to talk about doll clothing. We found a old Barbie, like, 2000s case filled to the brim with 90s and 2000s Barbie clothes.
Which is so cool. I usually don't find lots of doll clothes in the thrift store, so we
surprisingly.
snatched it up as soon as we saw it. And we ended up sorting out some of the clothes and sold some of the clothes and kept some of the clothes for ourselves that we use on our rainbow high dolls up there. You can't really see them. For the last 2 items in this video, we have a confession to make.
We fell down the Sanrio pipeline, okay? We became obsessed this last year, and now I just love finding Sanrio items.
I love Sanrio now, and if you're wondering, our favorite character is the twin stars. Because obviously, we're twin stars.
I'm the blue one, she's the pink one.
Obviously.
Right?
Anyways, we found a few Sanrio things at the thrift store, which is what sparked us to become Sanrio fans.
Yeah.
So the first item we found was a Hello Kitty Build-A-Bear. I found her and thought she was adorable, and then later found out she was worth like quite a bit of money. And then we found another Hello Kitty Build-A-Bear at the thrift store, and I posted TikToks about this, and I didn't know that a lot of people really want the Hello Kitty Build-A-Bears.
Like, they're really sought after.
They're like holy grails for some people. So I was like, oh wow, I found a Hello Kitty Build-A-Bear.
Everyone's like, what the fuck? I'm gonna rob you.
Give it to me! And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was grateful to hold them, but we did end up selling both of them. And then luckily, I think like 2 weeks ago, we found a Choco Cat plush. And I know Choco Cat like merch is kind of hard to find, so as soon as I saw this Choco Cat, I was like snatching it up immediately.
Yeah.
We ended up listing it, and it sold within minutes.
It had its tag actually, and it was from the early 2000s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
I just think it's so cool, and it was really well made. It was like pretty heavy too. But you know, if we found a Choco Cat Build-A-Bear, we'd be
Rich.
We'd be rich. They're expensive.
Oh my, I don't know if anyone actually buys it at this price, but
But
like,
that's insane.
people,
Oh my god.
people are asking $400 for a stuffed animal.
Like, I feel bad for Sanrio collectors because a lot of their merch is so expensive for no reason.
It is.
Like,
I feel bad. I know we
Yeah.
made a whole video defending resellers, but some resellers are out of line. We
Yeah.
understand that. No one should pay $400 for a stuffed
no,
animal.
like we try pricing our items like based on like sold comps of the same item,
Yeah.
and not try jacking up the price just because like you have a rare item. Like,
Exactly.
no.
So, PSA, don't
Do
look
that.
at only listed prices, look at sold prices,
Yes.
okay?
Okay, so that's basically everything we wanted to talk about. We just wanted to make this video because honestly, I feel like a crow. You know how like crows love finding trinkets, and if you like befriend a crow, they'll like bring you in trinkets and deliver them to you. Like that's how I feel when I go thrifting and like resell them. I feel like a little crow delivering trinkets to people.
It's like really...
Like this shirt I'm wearing, I thrifted. Like, look how cute this is. Like, I love it so much, and I have house earrings to match. Like, there's a little house in here, and it matches perfectly
it
with
matches
the
the
shirt.
houses. She loves this shirt. So you better compliment her in the comments because
Please.
literally every day she puts on this shirt, she tortures me and she'll put it on and she'll be like, isn't this shirt so cute? And I have to say yes every day and it gets tiring. So guys, please tell her it looks
Please.
cute because I'm tired of telling
Like,
her.
look at, there's so much detail in this shirt. Like,
Okay, we
wait,
get it.
there's a little peach sign here. Like, that's so cute.
We get it, it's cute.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, if you like us, make sure to check out our 2 TikToks where we post all of our best thrift finds, even some we didn't talk about in this video.
Yes.
Also check out our Mercari and our eBay account where we sell all of our cool thrift finds on. And also we have a Patreon where you can find behind the scenes to this video and other videos on our channel along with some exclusive content. And check out our Redbubble and our Instagram. We have a lot of stuff. Thank you for listening to all of that, and thank you for listening to us brag this entire video. If you found anything cool at the thrift store,
Let
make
us
sure,
know.
yeah, let us know.
Because I'm nosy and I want to know.
We really do want to know.
But just remember to dream is to expand your imagination and to create your own reality. Anything's possible and things don't have to make sense. See you in our next video.
Things don't have to make sense, like us finding Rochelle at Walmart. That's
Like, what
crazy.
the fuck?
I'm
Like,
never
I can't get
gonna.
over
I'm never gonna stop talking about that.
It's
Anyways,
amazing. Okay,
goodbye.
anyway.